What? What are you looking at?
Nothing. Never mind.
Blake, I'm the one who's been missing for weeks. While you've been sighted, you made a videotape. You said goodbye to your loved ones, which proves that you were nowhere near this place at the time of your alleged abduction. You see, simple deduction would lead one to believe that the real victim in this scenario is Tory Granger. You're not gonna win this time, Tory. You're not gonna win. Hey, mister, excuse me, but, do you have a quarter?
What?
Can I have a quarter? I need to report a crime.
She's been gone for more than 48 hours, so I want a file. That's her photograph.
Ross, I got your message. Blake is still missing?
Yes. Holly, I'm worried sick.
And you are?
Blake Marler is my daughter.
Give me a minute. I'll make some copies of Mrs. Marler's photo.
All right, thank you, Manny.
You're filing a missing persons report?
Yeah, well, I have to. She's been gone for more than 48 hours. She's not picking up her cell phone. She's not leaving me a message. The kids are getting upset. I don't know what to tell them anymore.
This is a nightmare. I thought everything was better between you two.
Well, they were. I mean, we were having a good time in New York, and she had forgiven me for what happened with Tory. At least that's what she said.
That's what she told me.
Now she's not here. I come back from New York, and she's gone. Where is she?
I spent the night with her after Rick and Mel's engagement party.
Did she say anything about going away?
Not a word.
And she seemed all right to you?
Well, it was intense. We were talking about my lying about the affair, but everything seemed fine then.
Now you understand why I'm so worried.
Ross, Holly, Officer Manning just told me you're planning to file a missing persons report on Blake.
Yeah.
I don't think you should consider her missing.
No one has seen her for days.
Oh, I understand that, but I think considering Blake's actions, we should start to think of her as a fugitive from justice.
Why on earth would you consider Blake a fugitive from justice?
Well, as worried as you are about where she is, I am worried about what she's done.
What do you mean? What do you mean what she's done?
Well, let me tell you what I know. We think that Tory committed suicide, right?
You no longer think that?
Didn't Blake tell you? Oh, I'm shocked. I can't believe it. Remember the dock worker, the one who saw Tory take a dive into the lake? Mm-hmm. Well, he changed his story. He was actually paid to say he saw Tory commit suicide.
Who did he say paid him?
Blake.
Oh, Harley, that's ridiculous.
Oh, there's more. There was a letter that was delivered here to the station. It was a letter that Tory wrote to a friend of hers saying if anything should happen to her, we should look to Blake as being responsible.
A letter from Tory. Please tell me you're not taking this seriously.
Harley, this is a practical joke. It's got to be.
Well, I hope that's true, Holly, but how come every time I try to question Blake, she puts me off? And now you're saying she's missing again? I mean, come on. She is obviously avoiding all of us. And if I know Blake, it's because she has done something wrong. Hello? Anybody home? I asked you if you had a quarter.
Lady, you're crazy. Why just a quarter? Why don't I take my wallet while you're at it?
Oh, come on, just give me a quarter. If you give me your address, I'll pay you back.
Take two.
Thanks.
Harley, Blake had nothing to do with Tory's death. I mean, for God's sakes, she's one of your best friends. You've known her for years. You think she's capable of murder?
I didn't say murder. I said something. And why don't get your phone, and then we'll talk more.
Ross Marler.
Ross.
Blake, where are you? I've been worried sick.
Ross, I need to see you.
I'm at the police station. I'll meet you here.
No. Come down to the ferry docks, alone.
Why? What's happening?
Ross, just trust me on this, okay?
All right. Look, I'm sorry that was my office. A bit of an emergency. I have to go.
Now? What's more important than finding Blake?
What more can I do here? A client needs me.
Ross, after everything I just told you about Tory and Blake, this is not more important?
Of course it is, but I don't have an explanation. I obviously don't have Blake, so I'm gonna go. I'll see you. Blake! Blake, where are you? God, you're all right. Do you know what Harley has been saying? And why didn't you tell me about this dock work?
Shh, just let me explain later, okay?
No, you can't explain later. You have to explain right now because the police no longer believe that Tory committed suicide. They think that you somehow have something to do with her death.
What a joke.
Yes, I know that.
Ross, Tory is very much alive.
What do you mean Tory is alive? That can't be. Do you have any proof?
Oh, you better believe I have proof. Tory faked her death. She's been playing us since day one.
Why has nobody else seen her, Blake?
You did, Ross. That was Tory in Chicago, not me.
That wasn't you? It was Tory who got into bed with me? What about that videotape that you sent me?
Tory. It was all Tory.
All right, start at the beginning and tell me what happened.
I was on my way to the writers' convention in Chicago when I got a phone call from the harbor master's office. Someone telling me that Tory's body had been found. Well, that was Tory, and she was alive and well. There was a struggle. I almost escaped, but she rigged a trapdoor through the floor, and I fell into a cell she'd set up below the office. She kept me prisoner there, taunting me, planning her future with you, threatening the kids if I didn't do what she asked. She forced me to make that videotape telling you I was leaving. It was Tory who drugged you in the hotel room, pretended to be me when she got into bed with you. All those weeks I was gone, I was there, in that cell. And then things got even stranger. I managed to escape and lock Tory in the cell, but then she turned the tables on me, and we ended up getting locked in the cell together, and then I managed to escape again, and I left her locked inside.
Are you telling me that Tory is still
Locked inside that cell down there? Yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Why didn't you go to the police the first time that you escaped? And why the hell didn't you tell me about any of this?
Ross, I tried. Aside from the fact that I was afraid that she was just gonna get let out on parole and still be a threat to us and our children, something snapped. I wanted her to suffer the way I suffered. I wanted her to feel the same kind of pain that she put me through, and I didn't say anything to anybody.
Dear God, Blake, what have you done?
I know. But Ross, I want to go to the police now. I just don't know how to explain what happened.
The cell. It's underneath the harbor master's office, and nobody heard you, and nobody saw you or anything. You know, I was there. I found your credit card.
I know, Ross. I planted that card there because I wanted you to find me, but Tory had soundproofed that cell. I was right underneath you when you were there.
And what is the time frame of all of this? I mean, you were prisoner for how long? Since the day that you were supposed to go to Chicago?
Yes, I know that it sounds crazy, but I can prove it to you, Ross. I can prove everything. You just have to come with me. You just follow me, okay? You'll see her, Ross. You'll see how crazy she is, and you will realize that I had no choice with it.
Look, where are we? What is this?
This is where she kept me.
Blake, there is no cell here.
I don't understand. Ross, that's a trapdoor. I fell through from up there, through into. This is where I broke through this wall, and there's this other room here with all these bottles, and I had a cot here where she kept me. She had bars. How did she get out? How did she get rid of this?
There's no cell.
Ross, she held me hostage right here. I'm not crazy. She had to have escaped. How did she escape?
Maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Something happened here. I am telling the truth.
Blake, it's time for you to go home and see the kids. Now, yes, we're going to figure out what to do once we get home.
Tori is alive. She is alive, and she hates me. She wants to kill me. Ross, Tori is alive.
I know that, Blake. I know.
Mom, I'm fine. Yes, I'm with Ross right now. Yes, I know. He told me what Harley said, and she's wrong, all right? I had nothing to do with Tori's death. Look, listen to me, Mom. Listen. I talked to the sitter, and the kids are fine, but I want you to get over to the house right now, and I want you to take care of them yourself. You don't answer the door to anybody. Do you promise me? Okay. All right, thanks. All right, Tori took my cell phone when she kidnapped me.
We could go back there and look for it.
Oh, what's the point? I know what we're gonna find. Nothing. She didn't leave a trace of what went on in there.
But Blake, if this setup was elaborate as you say it is, how could she possibly dismantle it? Get rid of anything?
I don't know, Ross. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how she did it, but I swear I'm gonna figure it out and prove it if it's the last thing I do.
All right. I think that you've had enough. You need to go home, be with the kids for a while, and just relax.
Relax? What am I supposed to do? Relax? Ross, she threatened me. She kidnapped me. She threatened to kill our children. She's out there somewhere. I'm not gonna stop until I find her. She's gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah, the thing is, if only someone else had seen Tory as well as you.
Oh, my God, you don't believe me, do you?
Like, I want to. But you have to understand how difficult it is to comprehend the scope of what you say happened.
Don't you get it, Ross? This is part of her plan, is to make you think that I'm spinning some bizarre fantasy while she's out there. God knows what. She's gonna hurt somebody. What was that?
You were hysterical. Would you rather I slapped you?
I'm sorry, Ross. I'm sorry.
It's all right, sweetheart. I just want you to tell me the truth. Tell me what actually is going on.
Tori stalked us, Ross. She kidnapped our children. She created a shrine to you. Why can't you make the leap that she faked her own suicide and she held me captive?
Blake, the police now believe that Tory was murdered.
I don't care what the police think, Ross. What do you think? Do you honestly think that I murdered Tori and I created this elaborate setup to cover it up?
No, I don't think that. However, other people...
Ross, stop thinking like a lawyer. Think like the man that loves me, that claims to know me.
I want to do that. But you have to understand the police have serious questions to ask you. And they're going to be difficult to answer if you don't have any evidence.
All right, fine. I'll get them their evidence.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the cops. I'm going to tell them everything. They can get their forensics to search the cell, and they'll find proof that Tori's still alive.
Blake, are you sure that this is the right thing for you to do?
I know you think I'm making this up, but Harley won't.
Harley is the one who thinks you may have something to do with Tory's disappearance.
I did not. Tori is the one who paid off that dock worker to say that she committed suicide. It wasn't me.
It's not just about the dock worker anymore. The police now have a letter written by Tory that said if anything should happen to her, you're responsible.
And you believe that? Oh, come on, Ross. You know that she wrote that just to make me look bad. And don't forget about Chicago. That wasn't me that you saw there. That was Tori. She drugged you. She made a videotape of the two of you to make it look like you had made love. Didn't you wonder where I was in the morning when you woke up?
I woke up to a note. A note that said I had called out Tory's name, that we were through, and I shouldn't even bother trying to find her.
And you believed that? Oh, come on, Ross. If you really had called out Tory's name, don't you think I would have confronted you? I wouldn't have run away.
Initially, that's what I thought, yes.
When you thought I was in bed with you, did you really get a good look at me? Did you really see me? I don't think so. I think what you saw was a blurry image of a woman wearing a red wig before you passed out.
Hey, Blake, there you are. Heard you were missing. Glad Ross found you. Is everything all right?
No, Frank, it's not. That's why we're here. Tory Granger is alive.
What? How do you know that?
According to Blake, Tory took her own life so she could kidnap Blake and hold her hostage in a cell. Now, this cell is underneath the harbor master's office down by the docks. And threatening to harm our children, she coerced Blake into making a videotape.
Blake claimed she was leaving me to write a book about my betrayal of her. Tory fed her nothing but junk food. She wore a red wig to impersonate Blake while she was at the Romance Writers Convention in Chicago with the express purpose of seducing me and making a videotape of it. Did I get it right, Blake?
Hey, I'm the one who came up with it, and even I'm having a hard time believing it.
Oh, Blake, the cops are never, ever gonna find any proof that I held you hostage. And if you're not careful, you find yourself right back in a cell. This time, it'll be padded.
Blake swallowed the key to the cell so she could get the upper hand and then drug Tory and eventually make her escape.
All right, Ross, you're saying that Tory pulled a rope and it opened up a trap door and Blake fell into a cell underneath.
It didn't go directly into the cell, Frank. The trap door would open, and then there was sort of this slide situation that went into the room. Isn't that right? Blake?
What? I'm sorry, what? What were you saying?
We were saying that Tory pulled a rope and opened up a trap door and then you fell into a cell underneath.
Do you find that hard to believe?
Well, Blake, I'm not sure, but if it's out there, I'm sure we'll find it.
Blake, do you find this funny?
I figured that you would have figured it out by now.
Figured out what, Blake?
I'm making it all up. The kidnapping, the cell, the trapdoor, everything. I just thought you would have guessed that by now.
What do you mean, you made this up?
Well, I wanted to see if you would buy my story. I mean, I know that the details sound kind of nuts, so that's why I thought if you two would believe it, then anybody would believe this.
Why, Blake? Why would you do something like this?
Well, it's a part of my writing process, Ross. I mean, this is an idea for my next novel. I've always done this type of thing. I've never taken it this far. But if I figure if I acted like this story was true, it was the only way to find out if it actually would work.
Well, hold on a second. You're saying that Tory never held you hostage? She never threatened your kids, and she never made a videotape of her and Clarissa?
But I fooled you, right? Did I?
What about the credit card that I found at the harbor master's office?
Yes, I know. I planted it there on purpose. I just wanted to see if you would come looking for me. Boy, was that a plot point that didn't work.
Blake, Tory's really dead?
I know that when she committed suicide, I shouted from the rooftops that she was alive, but I changed my mind.
Why? What changed your mind, Blake?
Well, I mean, it got me thinking, like, if she had faked her suicide, why would she do that? So she could kidnap me and seduce herself back into your life, and then it started occurring to me that this would be a fabulous plot for a book. I just didn't know if anybody would believe it, so if I presented it to the two of you like it really happened. I realized from the look in your eyes that I took this too far. I'm sorry.
Blake, hold on one second. What about the dock worker that claims that you paid him to say that he witnessed Tory's suicide? And also the letter that she sent saying that if anything had happened to her, we should come looking for you.
Well, I'm sure Tory set me up to make my life miserable after she committed suicide. But I do believe that Tory is dead.
And so this whole thing, about Tory being in Chicago. That wasn't true at all. It was you all along.
Oh, was that too much? I figured I'd have to lose the harbor master story, but I was kind of hoping to hold on to that drugged champagne story.
Then you were just using me, right, Blake? I was just part of a preparation for your next novel.
Well, you didn't buy it, did you? I mean, did you, Frank? I figured you're my reality check. If it didn't, it doesn't work through a police point of view, you would be the one to tell me, yeah? When you thought it was me in bed with you, did you get a good look at me? Did you really see me? I'm sorry, Frankie. I'm sorry that I did this to you. I hope you forgive me.
Blake, I don't think it's me you owe the apology to, but anyway, next time you come up with a crazy idea, pitch it to Harley first, will you?
I'm sorry, Ross. I am. I didn't mean to get you so worked up. I just, at the time, thought it was a good idea, but I promise I would never do something like this again.
Let's go home. Kids want to see you.
And I want to see them.